Golden Age actresses were packaged as perfect, while PR machines buried their worst moments. Hollywood didn't just sell movies, it sold saints. Smiling photo spreads, spotless birthdays, America's Sweetheart headlines. The studio machine packaged actresses as perfect and airbrushed anything that didn't fit the myth. 1. Joan Crawford, the perfect mother myth. Fan magazines sold a fairy tale. Joan Crawford, the tireless star who tucked her kids in with bedtime stories and picture-perfect birthday cakes. That public image wasn't an accident. It was studio craft. According to daughter Christina's memoir, Mommy Dearest, the private story was brutal. Beatings, midnight floor scrubbing for missed spots, even a notorious rage over wire hangers that became shorthand for terror. These are allegations, but they're detailed and unforgettable. When whispers about Crawford's temper surfaced, publicity teams moved fast. They reframed abuse as discipline, perfectionism, and high standards, polishing headlines until they gleamed. The result was one of Hollywood's most effective illusions: the loving mother on magazine covers versus the alleged reality behind a locked bedroom door. That gap between brand and behavior let fans adore a screen saint, while the children in the photos reportedly paid the price. It's the template you'll see again and again in this story. But America's Sweetheart, her halo came with its own shadows. 2. Shirley Temple, America's Sweetheart, shadowed legacy. During the Depression, Shirley Temple's curls and dimples sold hope by the reel. Then as an adult, she reinvented herself as a polished diplomat. That public arc is undisputed. What's harder to square are the accounts that, later in life, she defended powerful Hollywood figures when accusations surfaced, seeming to protect the very system that once exploited kids like her. These are claims, but they recur across tellings. Temple herself wrote about a disturbing moment at 12. A producer exposed himself during a meeting. She described it almost casually, as if such behavior was just part of the business. An attitude that, some argue, hints at how deeply the industry normalized misconduct. The paradox lands hard. The face of innocence may have helped uphold the code of silence that kept others quiet. Image wins. Truth gets edited out. But our next icon flips the narrative again. Celebrated as a brilliant beauty, Hedy Lamarr's story hides a far darker final act. 3. Hedy Lamarr, Beauty and Brains Sanitized. Textbooks now hail Hedy Lamarr as the genius beauty behind frequency hopping, the spark that later fed Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. That modern inspirational framing is real, but it's not the whole story. Accounts of Lamarr's later years paint a far harsher picture. Repeated shoplifting arrests, blow-ups with staff, and a pattern of assaults on employees and verbal tirades that left assistants describing her as unpredictable and frightening to work for. Retail workers and even fans seeking autographs reportedly bore the brunt of those outbursts. Allegations, presented as reported incidents. Here's the twist. Many feel-good retellings minimize or skip that pattern entirely, polishing a seamless, overlooked genius arc, while the people who say they were harmed get edited out of the narrative. That's Image Management 101, trade messy truth for marketable myth. But the next icon didn't bother hiding the chaos. She branded it. Enter Tallulah Bankhead, where free spirit collided with reports of cruelty. 4. Tallulah Bankhead and Zsa Zsa Gabor, Eccentricity versus Abuse. Tallulah Bankhead is often framed as a glorious rule breaker, smoky voice, razor wit, early LGBTQ+ icon. That legend skips the ugliest parts. Crew and household staff described racist tirades, deliberate on-set sabotage, and tantrums that crossed into workplace abuse. One account even alleges she urinated on a dressing room floor when demands weren't met fast enough. Publicists sold it as entertaining eccentricity. People who worked for her called it cruelty. Zsa Zsa Gabor turned scandal into branding. After she slapped a Beverly Hills cop in 1989, the t-shirts hit shelves and the talk shows booked her. The punchline drowned out the pattern. Former housekeepers and aides accused her of physical and verbal abuse. Some filed lawsuits saying she struck them over minor mistakes. Business partners told a different horror story: unpaid debts, dodged contracts, and a ditzy persona used to skate past accountability. Industry spin turned assault into camp and exploitation into savvy. Here's the through line. The machine took real harm and reboxed it as charm. For fans, diva antics. For insiders, damage. And the sisterhood wasn't safe either. Next up, two icons who aimed their knives at other women. 5. Bette Davis and Joan Fontaine's sisterhood, sabotaged. Hollywood loves the tale of women defying the system, but some aim their knives sideways. Bette Davis is praised as a feminist icon who fought studio bosses and embraced difficult roles. That storyline, critics argue, hides a pattern colleagues described as deliberate sabotage of rival actresses. Whispered put-downs before key scenes, lighting tweaked to flatter herself, and pressure on directors to trim other women's best moments in the edit. Reports also claim she spread damaging rumors and used clout to edge newcomers out of coveted roles. In this telling, Davis didn't want to end Hollywood's hierarchy. She wanted the top rung, no matter who slipped beneath her. Then there's Joan Fontaine, the soft-spoken Oscar winner whose on-screen fragility masked, according to multiple accounts, a sustained campaign against her sister, Olivia de Havilland, rumor seeding with producers, poaching roles Olivia was pursuing, and public digs at her work and personal choices. The feud's ugliest turn, sources say, came after their mother's death, when Fontaine allegedly made hurtful public comments, a lurch from rivalry into something colder. The industry packaged it as sibling squabbling. Insiders call it psychological warfare. Two myths crack at once. Toughness rebranded as ambition, cruelty mislabeled as spark. And if that seems harsh, the next chapter gets icier, where privacy itself became a shield for calculated harm. 6. Greta Garbo and Veronica Lake, the ice and the violence. Greta Garbo built a myth on silence, the aloof artist who only wanted to be left alone. Behind that glow, accounts from household staff describe something colder, a workplace of fear. New hires were allegedly set up with impossible tasks, then humiliated when they failed, with cutting remarks about their intelligence or worth. Her privacy didn't just guard the persona, it sealed the room so the treatment stayed hidden. Veronica Lake got the opposite edit, the fragile noir angel destroyed by fame. Crews and aides tell a rougher story, drunken rages, physical attacks on makeup and wardrobe, even shows where she arrived visibly intoxicated and, at her lowest, allegedly urinated on stage. Later retellings lean on tragedy and skip the people who say they were hurt, turning harm into pity and erasing victims from the frame. Two legends, two flawless myths. Same trick. Image management that sells elegance or sympathy while hiding collateral damage. Next, the platinum saint who weaponized rumors and an icon hailed as liberated while younger women called her predatory. 7. Jean Harlow and Marlene Dietrich, the blonde in the power game. Jean Harlow died at 26 with a halo of platinum and a legend that never aged. The gloss hides a messier whisper trail. Colleagues claimed she seeded rumors to edge rivals off roles and courted press attention when competitors stumbled. Those are accounts, not courtroom facts, but they recur in industry recollections, then vanish in feel-good retrospectives that freeze her as eternal innocence. Image wins. Evidence gets fuzzy. Marlene Dietrich is praised for defying Nazis and gender rules. Rightly. The transcript also compiles allegations that behind closed doors she ran relationships like campaigns, especially with much younger women, and berated glam teams when perfection slipped. Again, claims, not verdicts. But when profiles retell only the icon, the people who say they were harmed disappear from the frame. That's the machine working exactly as designed. 2 platinum myths, 1 lesson. PR doesn't just hide behavior, it rebrands it. And if the past feels distant, wait for the final beat, because that same trick powers today's relatable celebrity feeds too. Across 11 legends, the pattern never blinked. The studio didn't just hide bad behavior, it rebranded it. Discipline covered alleged abuse, eccentric masked cruelty, ambition excused sabotage, and icon eclipsed the people who say they were hurt. The images were flawless, the cost was paid off camera. Here's the uncomfortable echo. That same magic trick lives on in today's feeds. We still reward polish over accountability, myth over mess, narrative over nuance. So what do we do with our heroes when the halo burns our eyes? We look harder, listen wider, and keep alleged where it belongs until facts, not PR, do the talking. Your turn. Which reveal shocked you most, and which label felt like spin? Drop your pick in the comments. If this made you rethink old Hollywood, tap subscribe. Next time, we'll flip the lens to the publicists who wrote these fairy tales in the first place.